What up, y'all? Welcome back to Pics. It didn't happen. I am Fats King. The guy dying on camera next to me is the Yeti.
Wow. What up, guys? We're back with another one, and it's going to be awesome. I'm super excited. Tell him who it is. Tell him who it is. Tell him.
I am too.
Tell him.
We're joined by toy photographer extraordinaire Shane Herb. You want to say what's up, bro?
What up, y'all? Thanks for having me on the show.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you were not seeing this shit. It's all over Facebook. It's all over Instagram. Tell them where they can find that first and foremost. Let's just get that out of the way.
On Facebook, you can find me at Herb Shane. It's my personal page, but I mostly just post all my toy stuff on there. Instagram, it's WOWTOGRAPHY 216. It's
okay.
WOW Photography 216. You figure it out. It's pretty easy.
Right.
I'll put links down in the description since we still can't do the thing with the pop-ups. We need your help. Tell your friends to like our stuff because then we can do
like, share, subscribe, spread our shit like a bad STD.
Yeah, definitely.
Or like love.
That one. We're gonna use something you made for us for promo before we put the episode out. I'm not telling you fuckers what it is, but it's dope. And I love that little card you have right there. That warms my black ass heart. So
yeah,
before we get
on the fly, I did that.
Before we actually get into that, I've got to know. So how did you discover, where did you learn about ICP, Psychopathic Records? What made you a juggalo? Let's get the easy question out of the way.
All right. So realistically, man, I was just a lone juggalo by himself in Cleveland back in the mid-90s, 95, 96 era. Got introduced to ICP by just copping a sampler tape out of a van. Really got into it.
No shit, you're one of them, huh?
Yeah.
Actually, you actually seen one of the fucking street team vans. That is so fresh.
Yeah, shit was crazy. Like back then, like I didn't know what any other juggalo was like. Juggalo wasn't even a thing, really. You know what I mean? Like
it was used in the music, but we as a community were really just getting started.
Yeah, so it was weird, a weird time for me. I had a bunch of friends who were like, "Why the fuck do you listen to that weird ass shit, bro?" And I'm like, "I like it, bro. It's what I like." Dope.
It's what I like. I can't help it. It's what I like.
What I'm drawn to. I've always been drawn to, unique and out there shit to begin with. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely. I've always told people when they ask me what got me into it, I always say that I like horror movies and I like comic books. So why wouldn't I want my music to sound the same?
Right. Yeah. Fitting.
Right. What's your favorite Joker card? Again, easy question. Just let's
favorite Joker card all day. Carnival of Carnage, all day. I like that grimy shit, man.
That original fucking sound they had. That's something that can't be replicated.
Yeah, that's definitely their grimy era.
A quick second for me though is Hell's Pit.
Hell's Pit's a lot of people's second. Most people I talk to, they go Riddlebox, then Hell's Pit.
Yeah. So about Hell's Pit, man, like when that album came out, I liked the first time I listened to the album. I still do this to this day. I always listen to an album for the first playthrough on headphones. I'll never change that shit. But I remember
it really does help you get into that album if you really want to experience it.
It's more personal, man. But when Hell's Pit came out, I remember I went with a bunch of people. We went to the record store. We got the album. We all went back. We were going to do a listening thing together, but I still went off in the cut with my headphones on, and I sat in a closet, dark as shit.
Oh, fuck.
And that shit impacted me real hard. Like, that fucked my head up for a minute. That intro to that album, hearing it for the first time in pure darkness,
the laughing and the giggles, yeah,
it was deep, bro. I was like, oh, I literally feel like I'm going to hell right now.
That was right there. That was what we'll call the beginning of what is their skill gap. That is where they, as artists, I'm gonna say peaked, and people can get shitty at me for saying that, but I'm gonna. And as storytellers, that is right there between Shangri-La and Hell's Pit. That was where they peaked the story, and I feel like was almost, you can't compare it to anything else in their lexicon, because it was such an ending. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. It was a start to finish that we were told we were going to get.
And it delivered. They weren't sorry that they tricked us.
Yeah. I mean, we had a great conclusion. And then came the prequels or sequel box sets or whatever the thing is.
Finding out that Juggalos do have a price tag. It's $195.
Plus,
but that's you're not wrong. You're not wrong. And that's just me being an old prick. I'm gonna move past what I just said. So the thing you're doing now, this photography, like, how the fuck do you even decide I'm gonna take pictures of toys? Because like, the only other thing I can liken this to that you're doing is like fucking Robot Chicken.
Yeah. That's funny, because I've been working on doing stop motion stuff in the last year and a half, and I got a bunch of stuff that I haven't shown nobody, but
we'll get to that, because that sounds fucking awesome. But we'll get to that. So back to that. How do you decide that this is what you're gonna do? Like,
so this is how it really began. Prior to doing this stuff, COVID is what initiated it all. But prior to doing that, I was kind of venturing along as an amateur photographer doing concert stuff. I look up really highly to Joe Christie and Crimson Chin.
That's our boy. We fucking love Joe Christie, and Chin's a G. He's a hell of a photographer.
Both of them are legit my homies. You know what I mean? And I look up to them. So I was like, I'm gonna give it a shot. I've always liked photography. I got a camera. I got out there. I started doing shows. But then when COVID hit, they kind of put a stop to shows.
Yeah.
And by that point, I had like a strong passion for doing it. I'd already been at least a year or so into doing photography.
That's really funny, because you and Paul, you and Yeti, pretty much have the exact same story to how you got started in photography. Like, I just decided to do it.
Yeah.
And then COVID fucked it all up.
Yeah. Well, kind of. Well, not for me, at least.
Well, it gave you a new avenue, and it got you into something really cool. And some of those I've seen, man.
It's
how do you
let the man talk? We'll get to that. Go ahead.
Yeah, it can get complicated with what I do. Like, it really can. Like, if some people saw some of the shit I do behind the scenes, they'd be like, "Holy crap, dude!" Like, I get stupid with it. I use real fire. I try to make everything as legit as possible and realistic. And I definitely would consider myself a wizard at this point.
Oh, fucking K. I like that shit. So you like you said, you were amateur photography for concerts. So how did you like figure out that you're gonna do this?
Well, once COVID hit, I wasn't out of work for long, but they did shut down my job for about 2 months. But in that 2-month period, I was sitting at home bored as shit, can't do the concert stuff for who knows how long, foreseeable future. And I already collect toys, and I was in a bunch of toy collector groups, and I started, paying attention more online to other people who did toy photography stuff and build dioramas. And then I became, friends with a couple of them, and they, would give me little tips here and there. And I was like, I got toys, let's try it. And then I tried my first diorama after learning a bunch of stuff off of a guy named Boba Chuck on Facebook. He's a really, really cool, awesome dude. Taught me a lot of cool stuff on how to make things. And I did my first diorama was the Michael Myers house, which I built. I ended up selling that to Eric Schaefer, who's also a really awesome artist in his own sense.
We're going to talk to him. We're working around at just trying to get him on as well. That's fucking dope. He's
a really good dude, man. Good, one of my good homies actually. And yeah, blind death stuff that he does is awesome. But
Yep.
I ended up selling that and then just pushing forward, man. Like learning little things here and there, different aspects of, perspectives and all my camera, stuff with my ISO and my what's up, kid? Stuff like that. So, slowly building over time, getting miniature stuff, 3D printed things, you know, just
So
building
like,
upon building.
so you said you use forced perspective. For those that don't know, can you explain that to people who don't understand what you mean by that?
Well, like a forced perspective thing would be like if I had, we'll use this as an example. I'll have my regular dining room table set up. You can see my living room. Take an Ant-Man figure, and I'll it look like he's leaning over and peeking around the side of the vase. It'll be a forced perspective of him, in the real world as Ant-Man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what that is. Sorry, my kid's over here trying to be.
You're okay, man. Real life comes before everything. I get it. So some of the shit that we've seen you do, it's so realistic looking, and like you were saying, you said it's because you use real shit. How does that work, incorporating real fire into a diorama? Like, how do you keep from burning shit? You know what I mean?
Plastic melt.
Well, so that's another sense of force perspective that I have. I have a really crazy photo of Mezco 112 figures. They're like miniature Hot Toys almost.
Yeah.
They're cloth fabric and all that stuff, super articulated, high detail. But it's Freddy versus Jason on a boat dock that I made. And what I did is I set it up out my backyard. The like TV dinner folding tables.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I took 2 of those. I set my figures up in the dock and all the stuff in the photo on that table. And then like 5 feet behind it, on another one, I made a foiled tin like tray and then threw a bunch of gasoline soaked paper towels on this tray. Then I set up on my camera on my tripod with a clicker, get all my settings locked in, and then lit that paper towel and with my clicker clicked and threw. Snapped a whole bunch of pictures, picked what was right, edited it out, sent it off.
That's really fucking cool.
And that's on my Instagram. You can find that image on my Instagram. You're gonna have to search. It's far.
But it's there. Just go check. So from idea to creation, what is the process? I want to know. So let's just say you
where it's kind of complicated.
Okay, and I want this. I want to hear this.
I'm kind of a madman. I don't work with any type of structure whatsoever. Literally, I will be sitting drinking my coffee, watching some true crime documentary, and boom, I get an idea in my head, and now it has to happen immediately. And I can't give up until I figure this out. Whether that means I have to set some stuff up and do it, or if I have to go make something to make it happen, then I just do it. But I never really plan anything. Once in a while, I get an idea that takes a little planned time, maybe a couple weeks, but the ideas just pop. Like this is it. This is what I got to do. Like I did recently. I did the Luke Skywalker Chewbacca thing.
Yeah.
Chewbacca as Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker, waka waka. Randomly was on the internet and saw the meme and was like, oh, I got to do that right now. I have the figures, so I could do that. I have everything in that picture to do that. I'm going to do it right now. So I just set it up, snapped it, boom, done.
That's dope. That's dope that you have such a wealth of figures that, like, once you get an idea, you can pretty much just do it.
Yeah. I do have quite a bit. It's kind of a lot, but the fun thing about it too is I do a lot of like trading with other toy collectors and stuff, so it's a revolving door.
Yeah, I see that, and it's a whole community that you're involved in. But so What do you think so far that you've done? What do you think is the hardest shoot you've had so far?
Like the most difficult?
Yes.
Mm, that's a tough one, man, because there's been a bunch where I'm like holding a camera with one hand, have my lights set up on weird shit that's not balanced well, and I'm holding something off to the side, a string. But I mean, I've been in several positions where I've been doing dumb stuff like that and knocked everything over 20 times before I get it done.
So I want to tag on to that. So there was a time when I was doing it was a picture of some shoes, and I took a flashlight and put it on top of a stack of DVDs and some tape. What is the craziest situation that you've used something just goofy that somebody wouldn't normally use for that situation? Like your most MacGyver moment?
Well, there could be a couple actually. Recently, I did a Pirates of the Caribbean shoot, and I did something similar to what you did. As I took these, my kid collects these LOL ball things. Yeah, and they have some of have these big locker plastic things, and I use those as stands with a sheet of glass that I put above it, and then I took twine ropes, taped it to the glass, and then taped it to my diorama board, which is just a basic blackboard I use, and then set it up with Johnny Depp in between the ropes going down, so it looked like it was part of the pirate ship. And then I used the T-screen pirate ship behind him. Yeah, that was crazy because the glass was barely balanced on the two things, like the frame. That shit was nuts. Like I thought I was gonna break glass everywhere.
But hey, it worked. So that's all that really matters at the end of the thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. As long as you get the results that you were shooting for.
Some other crazy shit that I do, like I guess this could fall under the Macgyvering category, is some of the stuff that I create and how I do it is fucking really weird. Like trees, for instance.
Yeah, your trees look so fucking realistic.
I make those out of paper towel tubes, crumpled up, wrap them up in crumpled aluminum foil, and then I cover them with masking tape, and then I take literally toilet paper and Elmer's glue 50-50 mixed with water and paper mache the toilet paper onto it. And then when it dries, it hardens. Then I paint it all black, and then I give it a bunch of dry brushes of browns and tans. And it's a tree.
And it's a tree. That is fucking insane.
Yeah.
Is it hard to shoot action poses? Like, is it keeping the characters in the pose you need them to be in, and then step back and make the shot? You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes it is. I've learned since I've started this that cheaper company figures are a lot more difficult to deal with when it comes to that because they don't balance as well as like higher costlier imports, like Fig Arts, Mezcos, Lim Toys, stuff like that. Those figures hold a hell of a lot better of a balance.
Yeah.
Storm Collectibles is another one. So I don't get too much of an issue out of those. Rose and stuff like that. NECA sometimes, yes, it's a bitch to get a balance. So I'll use stuff like sticky tack, under your feet to keep them balanced better. Or
see, I was always wondering that what you would do, because I think it was a more combat one where it might have been Scorpion or somebody. It was in an action pose, but it looked like it was very. How the fuck is he just sitting there like that? You know what I'm saying? And that's something I find myself every time I see the shit you put out and the shit you send me. I'm like, how the fuck do you do that? Like it's so realistic. Like I can't say that enough.
What I would like to do sometime is like have someone else videotape me doing a whole setup and shoot. So that way other people could see how it really works. Because there's things that nobody sees.
That would be really fucking cool.
Yeah, and sees what I really go through to do some of this stuff. Like it's complicated sometimes.
I mean,
not always. there's some simple moments, but sometimes I go balls to the wall and try to get crazy shit out of things. And yeah,
I don't want to say I would totally steal every little tip and skill that you're willing to put out there, but I mean, if you put a tutorial out, I'd definitely watch that. I'd love to see it. How
I would
stuff. It's crazy.
I would tell everybody, go steal every skill I got. I want the whole world to see toy photography. The more of that out there, the happier I'd be. Honestly.
You know, that's a rare trait, I guess. You know, I've actually ran into people where I was like, hey, I really dig how you're doing, you know, that thing. Can you tell me, you know, a little bit about it? Nah, man, that's like, you know, that's how I make my thing. That's my secret. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I guess I'll go to YouTube.
Yeah, once upon a time, I used to do tattoos, and that was one thing that turned me off of the tattoo industry. Actually, it's always so super hush hush and top secret what I do. You don't need to know how I do what I do, and I'm like, that's ridiculous.
Absolutely, yeah. It's really weird. There's quite a few professions that are kind of that way. It's
yeah.
So what do you think? Because I seen you make a post about this the other day. What do you think your favorite diorama or toy that you pose that you've done is like what so far?
My favorite diorama that's a tough one, man, because I've done a lot.
Yes, you have in a very short time, by the way.
Yeah, it's very true. I've got a lot that I've done that each have different places in my heart for different reasons. One of my probably all favorite fun ones that I did though was Goro's Lair.
Yeah,
like just the way that I made that work. I had no idea what I was doing going into it. You know what I mean? So it worked out in the end, and I was like blown away by how it turned out. That was fun. My Mortal Kombat Living Forest is awesome. That's one of my favorites.
Yes, it fucking is. I remember that.
So I love doing that shit.
Have you ever considered taking requests online, like maybe submitting for like I said, submitting for like requests, like somebody says, hey, do you got like Captain America and Red Skull, and then like they can just go from there, you know what I mean?
I would do it. Nobody ever really approaches me about it.
Really?
If anybody ever did, I'd be like, yeah, I could probably make that happen.
Well, the reason why I bring that up is because I seen the homie Legion, Jonathan McLaughlin. He does this thing every Friday. He asks for people to submit pictures of their forever faces, and them wearing them, and you know, he'll draw it. And I was just thinking that would be something maybe you could try. That would be really cool. Where it's like, hey, I have these figures. What do you want to see? You know what I mean?
Right. It's funny that you mentioned him. He actually designed part of this.
Yep.
My WoW gang thing, and then you know, old Hunter Thompson made it for me.
Oh, Cody, we love Cody here. We talked about him a whole lot. That's a good dude. This community, man, I love being a part of it. That's the whole reason why we reached out to you to be involved in this, because you have this thing that you're now using the community to basically try to promote. And we've talked about this. Just because you can't rap doesn't mean you can't have a piece of this. And that's why we do what we do, because we have no fucking musical talent whatsoever.
Yeah,
but
shit, I wish I did.
Yeah, because I gotta tell you, it'd be a whole lot easier than just talking shit, which is the only thing I'm good at.
I mean, I just like to have, when I'm sitting in the car, to not want to punch my own self in the face.
Yeah. Carpool karaoke with you must be marvelous.
Oh, it's I mean, you've done it. It's not great.
I know. I was being fucking facetious, but
I added
that's neither
songs for you too.
You and fucking Tom McDonald. I'm gonna bring my own fucking headphones.
That wasn't even it, but anyway, here's something that I've kind of thought about, because I don't know what it is about me, and I don't know if maybe it affects you or not. When you're designing sort of everything, do you prefer to create your own poses, or do you try to use the traditional iconic poses? Because I find kind of torn between the two.
I mix it up, man. Like sometimes I try to capture just whatever I can create out of the posing, because the way you see something behind a lens looks a little different than how you would visualize it with your eyes. Uh, so sometimes you can't actually capture those classic poses, but sometimes you can. But it takes some tricks to pull it off sometimes. Depends on what I'm working with as well.
So, how big is the community of people who are actually doing this besides you? Because I know you're not the only fucking one.
Thousands and thousands and thousands upon thousands.
It was huge.
Yeah.
Is there like competitions or anything like you can be involved in, or like?
Well, there are, but nothing super big. Like there's online competitions. I've been in plenty of them. One of the groups I'm in, Open Box Mafia, they do a weekly competition, and I do pretty good in there actually.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah. There's a lot of other good artists in that group too, like phenomenal, mind-blowing work. There's people out there that put me to shame. Trust me.
I'll say something else though. You should consider going to cons to sell your dioramas. I think that
that's something I'm going to work towards.
I think that would, because I'm only thinking of Astro, but there are other cons where there's just vendors who just have all kinds of badass shit set up, and I feel like you would do well at a horror con.
Yeah, I could. Well, I also want to try to roll out prints at cons. I tried to do it online just by myself. It didn't work out so well. It just wasn't enough to keep it moving, so to speak. Mm-hmm. But that was cool for a short-lived time.
You mentioned Joe Christie. I think it's really cool that he sent you figures and then you did poses for him. I think that's something else that if you opened up to the public, people would be very interested in as well.
Still have a lot of those to do. He sent me a lot of figures. So I got a lot more to go with that.
Joe's got a lot of cool toys.
Yeah, Joe is a cool toy. You can
yes, he is. I maintain Joe Christie is the most genuine fucking human in this scene. He is such a cool ass dude.
For sure, he is.
So, what do you want to do in the future with this? Like, how far are you trying to go? Like,
I mean, I don't have any foreseeable expectations for it. It's just whatever makes me happy at the end of the day.
It's still just kind of a hobby more than anything.
Yeah, I mean, this is like a peaceful bliss for me that I've never known. I went through a whole bunch of trial and bullshit in my life for the last 6-7 years, but this has brought me to another level of myself that I didn't know existed, man. Like, I have an escape from all the bullshit in the world that takes me so far away from it that it never matters to me anymore. Like, it's hard to explain.
That's why we fucking do this, man. It is an outlet. It is what keeps us going.
Right. So you get it in that aspect. So
absolutely. In the terms of I don't know if it's ever going to generate anything financial, but I don't care. I'm just having fucking fun.
Yeah, man. I mean, how could I not be? I come home and I play with fucking toys and shit. You know,
like,
do you have miniature plants? Who has miniature plants? I do.
And like you said, do you have your own 3D printer, or is this like
I don't have a 3D printer yet. I'm really contemplating getting a resin printer though. Like, the more I look into it, the more I'm like, yeah, I think that's the way I want to go.
Because I've got a friend who uses those for like D&D molds, so like I see what you're saying.
Like, I've kind of figured out that if I learn it enough, realistically, I could build my own action figures. So I'm like, that's got strong potential, because if I can make figures of people I know, it's fucking game over. I will make figures of everybody I know.
Oh, bro, please, I will be first in line. Tell me what you need to pay and what costs. I feel like the Fry meme. Just shut up and take my money.
Right. Because that to me would be awesome as shit.
Oh yeah, 3D printer. I think that if you get that, that's like that just your power is unlimited at that point, because, well, I want to do this. Okay, well, I can just go make that now. You don't have to worry about, well,
I have several friends who have 3D printers, and they make me stuff all the time, and it's super cool to see what they create, and it really draws me towards wanting to do it.
Yeah.
It's just the learning process. I have to hurdle that.
How do you make glass? Like, is like when I've seen you use like fucking windows and shit, like and like glass, like in the one you made for us, you know what I'm talking about? Like, how do you
All right, so the one that I made for you guys, I'll tell you the details about that privately. What
Okay.
you're gonna laugh, you'll laugh about that one. But sometimes, like when I make windows and stuff and dioramas, what I do is I keep the boxes to every freaking figure I buy. But the ones that I don't care about are like the $20, like my wrestling figure boxes. I don't really care about those. I take the plastic windows on them and I cut them out, and I use that for glass.
Fuck yeah, that is
Yeah.
awesome. Okay, the effects that I'm sure it's probably just camera tricks, but like for the Scott Hall figure, when you got him in his pose and it just looks like the lights are flashing all around him, that's just the camera shit, yeah.
That are sparklers.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty crazy, dangerous shoot. Joe Christie probably doesn't want to hear that because that was his figure, but
Okay,
I
well,
can
we'll
assure
just
you,
blank
Joe,
we'll just blank his name out, and then you can tell us.
yeah, the figure was fine. I sprayed the back of him with water. That's the trick. So you light up the fireworks and stuff, but the reason why it was dangerous is I didn't know how bad it was going to fuck up my wrestling ring, and
Oh,
that shit melted a lot of it. I did that in my living room.
Oh, geez.
like, so you do this in your house, or do you have like a workshop?
No, I do it in my house or outside my house, and sometimes in the garage.
Just said any flat space, kind of.
Yep, wherever I can do it. However, this is working, I'm doing it. If I got to shove two couches together and hang from the ceiling, I'm doing it.
do you find that you become more athletic in how you try to fucking like you're a bigger guy
Sometimes,
like
yeah.
me, and now you're discovering dexterity you didn't know you had?
Yeah, for sure.
So you've been doing this for, I don't know, you said since COVID. So what, about 2 years now?
Yep, just a little over 2 years now.
What are some things that you learned and had to learn the hard way?
Lighting technique.
Ah! Yeah, we feel that.
Yeah, lots of tricks for lighting.
I
We
hate
talked
lights.
about lights so many times.
I've gone through a lot of trial and error of good and bad lighting too. I have so many different damn lights around here. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
I didn't
So
mean to have that break me.
here's along those lines. So practical or Photoshop? Because I know you said you like to try to do a lot of it, but how do you feel
I
about
would
the
say-
use of Photoshop for some of the things, especially
First, I don't even touch Photoshop at all. I strictly edit in Lightroom, which is still
Okay.
an Adobe product.
Yep, that's what I
You're
use.
familiar with it, I'm
predominantly.
sure. As far as that goes, like I try to keep as much possible as what they call tangible. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
like a practical effect. It's real as it gets. No removal, no hiding. Every once in a while, I have to hide a little bit of a stand or something. And I do that with spot removal tool. So
Yeah.
highlight what I want, and it just takes from another area.
Right.
Set up right.
Yeah, I know sometimes Photoshop people, it's kind of you love it or hate it kind of thing. I think for a lot of people, some people kind of have the that's cheating, and the other people, some people are like, well, no, I mean it's there's a lot of steps, and it's not just to tuck in tummies and hide your wrinkles. So,
Okay.
it's just an interesting debate. Some people really are harsh about Photoshop, and I know people that absolutely love doing like everything in Photoshop.
The next question, and now I'm going to ask the question I asked. So, what's like a dream shoot for you? Like, something that's like you haven't done yet. Like, I don't want you to give me spoilers of something you're going to do, but like, okay. So after that shit you showed me with Ash,
Avengers
I can
versus
only,
X-Men.
what was that?
A full-blown Avengers versus X-Men shoot.
Oh, that would be so sick.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. How would you go about that? Let me just hear the process for that. That's your dream shoot.
I mean, if it were feasible, I would like to do it as strictly as close to comic accurate as I could, but it's not possible because all those figures aren't existent, and I'm not doing. So if I were to run that route, I would probably do classic Marvel Avengers team.
Mm-hmm.
And
so Cap, Thor, Iron Man, Black Widow,
and then I'd probably go 90s X-Men. 90s X-Men.
I can hear the theme playing in my head.
Yep.
Since I was a kid, it's never gone away.
But yeah, that would be an awesome dream shoot for me. The full out.
That's dope. That is really cool. Do you plan to do more DC? Because I kind of see a lot more Marvel, and I see a lot more. I also wonder, do you have Spawn?
Oh yeah, I've done a lot of Spawn shoots.
Then I just smoke a lot of weed and I miss him or I don't remember. Because Spawn's one of my favorite non-Marvel characters.
Yeah, mine too. I have him tattooed on my back, and my daughter's name is Cyan. So
I seen you post that, and I didn't want to just ask, but I kind of knew.
Yep, that's what that's from.
That's fucking dope. But what I was saying earlier, though, I just want to throw back to this before we wrap this up. Good on you for finding your piece of this scene and finding the thing that you want to do, and to be involved in it. And the reception you've got, I think, is pretty fucking good.
There we go.
Okay, so I guess we're gonna wrap this up before the technology kills us. So I'm just gonna say that
crashing down.
I'll just say it one more time. So
goddamn Skynet,
right? Fucking the Terminator's watching. So good on you for finding your piece of this scene, man. Like that's the thing we preach the most on this show is we don't all have to be rappers. We don't all have to fucking be record producers and shit. We all can be involved in this thing we love, and you just find your way to do it. And like I said, fucking mad props to you for figuring out how.
Oh yeah, dude. Thanks, man. It's been a fun trip. It's been exciting. And if I could encourage anybody on anything, go out there and do what the fuck you want to do. Make it happen.
Oh God, that's what we've been saying for the last 3 years. Just fucking do it.
Yeah.
And who cares?
The only thing stopping you is you.
Yep. Absolutely. Who cares if they say no? Just do it anyway.
Right? Yep. Absolutely. There's a whole lot of shit that you can just do it. Pretty much.
Is that Glenn Danzig I just saw?
It is Glenn Danzig.
I want to sing Halloween loudly. Is that a preview of something that's coming?
Oh, that's something I did a long time ago. It's a custom that I did.
Oh, that's something you made. I guess I should have imagined there isn't a Glenn Danzig action figure. All right, man. Yeah. This has been so much fucking fun. I appreciate you coming on here and doing this. You want to tell them all where they can find your shit one more time?
Someone went out. My phone was ringing. I can hear you now. What did you say?
Okay.
What?
I said this has been really fucking fun. Do you want to tell them where they can find you on the social media so they can see your shit?
Yeah, Herb Shane on Facebook, and Instagram is at WOWTOGRAPHY216. You like, follow, shares, whatever you want to do.
That's what we do, man. We spread shit. We share shit. That's how we get everybody found, and that's how we keep this thing spinning. Again, you can find us at Picture It Didn't Happen official on Instagram, and then on YouTube you can find us at Picture It Didn't Happen.
Right here, you can subscribe, and then they'll tell you all about it. Like the bell's down there, just push it.
Do it. He's right. You can find me at Fats King on Instagram and Facebook. All I do is share memes. So if you're coming for something that's useful, I'm not your guy.
He does not have the answers to your questions, life's questions. He has merely memes.
The only question, good life questions answered out of memes, though.
That is true. the only answer I can give you is smoke weed. Until next time, I have been Fats King. That's been Yeti. You have been
WOWTOGRAPHY.
That's right, motherfucker. Remember these names. They might matter someday.
Or don't.
Till next time.
Whatever. Peace.
Peace.